new in our business. Thank you, Van. He's going to hit I Dare You. He has wrote 56,000 NAP his first 8 weeks. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you put your mind to anything, you can do it. He's averaging 7K NAP per week, and he wrote 12K NAP just last week. So, again, without further ado, I am going to introduce y'all to Mr. Tyler. Good morning, Mr. Tyler. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm lovely. So how's the weather in Southeast Georgia?
It is 70 degrees and it is awesome. It's finally starting to warm up just a little bit.
Awesome. You got the pollen already?
Oh, it's awful. It's hit and everybody around here is fighting the allergies now because we got too many pine trees around here.
Same here in South Carolina. So congratulations on your phenomenal start in Family Heritage. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thanks so much.
You are very welcome. Can't wait to see you in mid-year meeting.
That's right.
So, you ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, like your background, what you were doing before this with you and your family.
So I'm from Southeast Georgia. So when I graduated school, I moved to above Atlanta, right? And I started living with some kin people up there in Dawsonville, Georgia. Went to work. Tried to go to college. College wasn't for me. Ended up dropping out. Had a really good job working at a concrete plant and kind of climbed the ladder on that note. And within a couple of years, became a plant manager. Bounced around all over Northeast Georgia. I was there for a little over 4 years. But I have a girlfriend of 5 years, Kaylin, and I actually have a little girl. Her name's Emerson. So she just turned 2 in January. So when we had her and the world was getting kind of crazy, we kind of decided it was time to move home. Right. So we moved back home, and I've been born and raised on a farm. So I was like, we're going to be better off down here anyways. And kind of got the quickest job I could get. It was kind of a leap of faith because I left a really good paying job to not knowing what I was about to do. Grabbed something quick. But as soon as I got there, I kind of knew it wasn't going to be for me. And that's when I kind of hopped on Indeed and started looking for the job search. And that's where I ended up finding Family Heritage. So I'm more or less in a farming and construction background and never did any sales in my life. So this is a big difference for me.
That's what I hear a lot of people, we have people come from everywhere, and it's amazing, to see how many people come from different backgrounds that don't come from sales, which is amazing. Right. Which kind of, rolls into why did you come from, to Family Heritage and switch your career?
Right. So I got an all right paying job for my area. We're not a very high income area. And as soon as I got there, I'm like, okay, this ain't going to work. This ain't my style. I'm so used to at least being a manager, something of the sorts, running something of my own. And that's something I look for. So I look for a good paying job, looking for kind of being my own boss, doing my own thing, and working with a bunch of good people. And I kind of found an ad with all that plus more on Indeed and got to talking to Mr. Sean, Miss Nikki, and started the motions in there. Didn't know exactly what I was getting into when I started the interview process, kind of learned more as I started the licensing. And all I knew at the time was we're going to make pretty good money, right? That's just what I kept getting told. So then after getting into it, I realized it was a lot more than just that, right? Because I understood what we were doing. I mean, my mama fought cancer for 2 years. I know the financial stress it put on my family during that point in time. I know my dad, he's actually been out of work since January of last year with accidental injury. He actually tore all his tendons loose from his rotary cuff. So I definitely seen the value in what we do, especially since I know if them two would have had something like this, they'd have been a lot better off. And then I realized we're doing a lot more helping people, so it ain't a money aspect no more, right? When you can go out there and you can just watch the weight lift off people's chest, it's unreal.
Exactly. That's another thing that I love about Family Heritage. It's not just about you, it's about the people that we absolutely help, right?
That's right.
Tyler, what has this career done for you and your family so far in just the short 9 months that you've been here with us?
What has it not done yet? I have done more stuff than I've ever planned on doing. I know I've been able to take a couple different vacations last year. Never been a vacation type of person, but I was able to afford to be able to do that. I know with my parents, mama's still fighting finally put in remission, but still going through the aftermath of it. And then daddy's still going through everything with the accidental side of stuff. I've been able to help them financially as they've helped me, getting raised up. And that's always something I wanted to be able to do. And I've been able to do that in such a short period of time. And it's been huge for them. And to kind of be able to, I know I've been remodeling a house, so it's gave me extra income to do that. And all of that being said, working no more than 50 hours a week, if that, 40 to 50, where my old jobs to do the same amount of income, if to even get close, we're working anywhere from 50 to 80.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Um, what are you excited about for your future? What are your goals to hit this year and this quarter?
So in the future, really excited about building an agency, and I'm well on my track with that. And I got a couple people trained. So I'm actually flying out to Wisconsin here in a couple weeks to train a cousin of mine that's from Georgia. He just moved up there with his family. So we're gonna expand the Revis agency a little bit and go up there.
Congratulations.
This quarter, thank you. This quarter, shooting for I dare you. I'm almost to 40K. We're right around the corner from it, 4 weeks out. So definitely something to push hard for and cross the finish line with. On the year, I'm looking to be in the top 140, right over 200K. Be at the award ceremony this time, not miss out on this one, and especially the Q3 Legacy trip. That's something exciting so far this year.
That is awesome. Yeah, definitely. I noticed, or I've hit every trip, right? This year. And that's something that whenever you do it, you never want to miss it. They're absolutely amazing. Amazing. What does your morning routines look like? Like every successful person, we hear Kyle and Van and everybody, Dylan, Buck and everybody talk about our top agents, have that morning routine that they don't veer from. What does your morning routine look like?
So my morning routine, I'm gonna say I'm not the best at holding that true, but I'm getting better at it every day. I do know when I do hold true to my morning routine, I do a lot better day to day and week to week. Right. So my big thing is I try to get up around 7, get up at 7, start getting active, start getting ready. I eat breakfast if we will. And I always try to be in the truck by 8:30 because I want to be headed to the territory, depending where I'm at. If I'm an hour away, I want to be in the truck by 8. My big thing is to be at the territory before 9 or right at 9, where I go in and get the day started. I do know the more consistent and detailed I am with my routine, the better off I will be. Because it's just something you speak it into existence and you try to follow it, and it works a lot better.
Definitely. Definitely. Tyler, what else has helped you to be a top performer here so far?
Create a game plan and don't sell yourself short. Right. I know that's a big one, and especially starting off. I know Kyle said there's a bunch of new agents on here. Earn your freedom. Right. You can't take off. It's your own schedule, but it's a double-sided sword. You can't take off when you want to. Start working really tough at first, and then earn the freedom coming down to it. And a big thing for me is I'm not a salesperson when I'm talking to people. I'm an agent. There's a big difference. We get to hear about all these other agents that they hate coming in and just blabbering about everything. We're not sales people. We're agents. We're here to help. You're going to see us more than twice. And I know that's a big thing. That's how I treat all my clients. Don't be scared to walk into businesses. The worst thing they can say is no. And if they say no, you're kind of in the same boat you was already in. So it don't make a difference anyways. Then hit the next business on the right, no matter what, because you never know who they are, don't matter what the business is, because you don't know their family situations and what you can truly mean for them in the long run. And just try your best. Don't be salesy. Treat people like you want to be treated. Be laid back and collected, because people may buy the product because it sells itself, but they buy you first.
100%. Exactly. Exactly. Has anything technically that you would do that you would want to share that you do well in your presentation?
Well, as we know, in the first 5 minutes, the sales make coming down through it. So I feel like a big thing I do very well on is the intro and the building the need.
Okay.
So when a big thing for my intro is when I come in, and I've seen a lot of people not do this, is I always ask them what concerns them the most.
Mm-hmm.
Let them tell me their family stories for all 3 areas, and then I ask what concerns them the most, because you never know if you're in a younger person situation and they're talking about cancer, they're probably more worried about accidents than anything. But I've got them to tell me their concerns on everything else with them choosing something else. So you have a lot more, I guess you could say, ammo to fire back on from what they said. And then you roll into the building the need, and that's where I spend my most time. I spend, depending on who it is, depending on what the conversation is like, I'm going to spend anywhere from 3 minutes and longer just on building the need, because I know if that part's done right, the rest is easy. And when coming down to it, when you go your direct to indirect costs, when you hit your indirect cost, when I'm asking them, thinking through their situation, I want to get every bit of information I can possibly get from them. I want their spousal situation. I want how many kids they got, how old they are, what's the occupation of the spouse, the kids play sports. I want the whole 9 yards, because that's just, I'm going to repeat everything back to them. And when you can sit there and tell them back their same situation, and now they're just thinking in their head, and now they're like, okay, this is a little bit different. I'm a breadwinner. If I lose my income, we're really screwed. The kids are out. I want to be with them. And I kind of wrap that all back around and figure out how that's going to impact their business financially, or more importantly, their family financially. And it kind of just opens their eyes. You see the light bulb go off. When I train people, I'm like, you'll see the light bulb. It's hilarious. And then being able to ask them what's their bills they're going to think about, and they start spitting them off. And then, that's what this is for. That's exactly what we do. That's why we do what we do. And I feel like a big thing too is the price build up, because by this point, if they want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't. But when you can take a family of four, if it's $100 a month, family of four, $25 a person a month, you take that by 30, you're talking about less than $1 a day. And when you can break it down to a less than $1 a day a person, they seem to understand it a little better. They're like, okay, I'm not spending $100 a month. I'm spending, money I'd buy me a drink with every morning. So they kind of make it little solidifies a little bit and makes it not quite as steep as they would think it is.
I love that. That was absolute fire. When coming out of Sales Academy, what is one thing that you wish you knew right then that would have made maybe the learning curve just a little easier?
Be yourself. Okay. Because when I first came out of Sales Academy, I'm like, sales script, you got to know it. I wish I'd have known it better. I wish I'd have read a lot more coming into Sales Academy, but it's very important to know it. But I know when I first came out, I was very robotic, I guess you could say. It's what it sounded like. The transitions were not there. It didn't sound smooth. And when I figured out I could be myself in my area, that's when it changed a lot for me. I still do the sales talk. I still do it in its entirety, but it's just the way I word stuff's a little bit different. But if I had to go back, know it a lot better and learn, just do that straight off the rip. Because I actually had somebody, I think it was in my second week, maybe first week or second week, tell me to stop acting like a robot because I was from down South Georgia. And I was like, I got you. I'll stop that.
I'm going to sound like my country self.
That's right. Because she said, are you from around here? I'm like, yeah. She said, start acting like it. I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people, like you said, need to remember. Be yourself, and you said it earlier that they buy you before they buy our product, and if they're not comfortable with you, then they're not even going to listen to what you have to say.
No, they dang sure ain't giving you any bank information.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because you got to think, we're in a very goofy business. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. If somebody walked up to you and said, hey, can I have your bank info?
Yep.
Yeah, not the best idea, but if you build a relationship with them and build some very good rapport with them, because that's one thing I do is I talk a lot. I like to talk. I enjoy talking to people, hearing their stories. So I build a lot of rapport straight to the introduction and to the need. And it usually makes people be a little bit more trusting instead of you speaking 100 miles an hour and just running through everything.
Exactly. So, sorry, my dog, she's our dog. Evidently somebody's riding down our road. I know everybody talks about, having a good support system, somebody that's going to push you, holding you accountable. Who is that for you, and how important was that for you, especially when you first started?
So actually, when I first started, I didn't see a whole lot of accountability as far as holding somebody to it for me. little did I know, I already had that without asking for it. So I had a really good trainer. He kept me in check day one, train mores. It's funny, every time we walk into a train more, he'd want to do a demonstration with me. He wants me to go over everything and go from there. But I understand why now, because it has made me a lot better than I was. I think my accountability partner now would be my girlfriend. I try to let her know all the information, let her keep me in check, let Mr. Sean keep me in check, Will, all the same, to be able to help me out. I know a big thing for me is if I make promises to people, make promises to my significant other, my agency owner, my market director, and on and so forth, it helps out tremendously on that. Because if you make a promise to them, you hate to break a promise. So that's the big thing. I kind of learned that in 101 with Brad.
Mm-hmm. That's an amazing class, isn't it?
Yes,
right.
For sure.
It's an awesome class. Everybody needs to go to that. Well, that is all the questions that I have. Is there anything that you would like to say? Any advice, any technical parts, any that you would love to share with everybody here that you feel that would absolutely help with the vets that
as we all know, it takes a day can't break your week, but a day can make your week. I've had plenty of weeks where I've got my teeth kicked in, and I just imagine y'all have to, where you're just sitting there and you've worked 3-4 days in a row and you've put in 6 to 8 demos a day, and it's just like you're not going anywhere. You're beating your head against the wall thinking, why are you doing what you're doing? And them same weeks, I've turned around on Thursday and Friday. I remember one in particular. I was shooting for the mid-year meeting last year. I had 4 weeks to make the mid-year meeting. And coming into week 4, I needed an eagle. I knew that. Coming into Thursday, I was sitting on 0. And when I came in Thursday, I seen a business. I'm like, I need to go in there. So next business on the right, walked in there, ended up writing almost an eagle just in that business alone. Wow. So even though you are having a rough week, there's a system in place. The system always pays. So that's when I figured that out really quickly early on is don't worry about the money. Just work. Just go in, day out. Don't cut yourself short. If you're going to work till 5, work till 5 or after, because you never know, that one more person could be the person you need to talk to. And it was late Thursday evening, and if I wouldn't have done that, wouldn't have walked in the business I thought was not going to go anywhere, it wouldn't have happened. Would not have made it to Texas, would not have seen what it could have been. And go the extra mile for every single client you have. If I know some agents don't do it, if clients ever want to upgrade or downgrade, I fill out the paperwork for them. I send it to them. They sign it. They send it back to me. And I kind of build a relationship. And I've actually had them clients call back and upgrade back up or whatever the situation may be, because they knew they could actually trust me as an agent and not a salesperson.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Tyler, you have been absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to meet you in person at the mid-year and see you deer your jacket. You're going to kill it.
That's right.
Does anybody have any questions for Tyler?
Yeah, man, I got one. First of all, I just want to say I love your comment about kinfolk. I live next door to my kinfolk too, so definitely important. Look, man, the numbers don't lie. To average 7,000 a week, can you tell me like what your strategy for your pipeline is? Because I can't be the only one struggling as far as just trying to keep that pipeline full. Is it full of enrollments, full of cold calling? Just kind of give me an idea what you look like, man.
So I definitely do a lot of cold calling. I'm learning to follow referrals better. Referrals is the best way to go. If you can go into somewhere and say, I've had 4 people tell me I need to talk with you, it just goes a lot easier. They're definitely going to want to hear what you got to say. When I step into a new territory, I actually stepped into a new territory last week because I've been working the same territory for about 9 months. I'm looking for familiar businesses I've worked with, kind of walk in there, make some leeway, and kind of get the name rolling around the community, chasing the referral trail. I do stick to my strengths. So I don't ever skip businesses, but the ones I first look at is ones that I either can relate with or know how they work or know how the whole system works, anywhere from auto stores to other insurance companies, and start trying to make my name known around town. And once you can do that, it seems to go a little bit simpler. I really wouldn't say there's no secret on getting into these businesses. I know when you go up to people, talk slow, don't talk fast. you kind of be easy, low and slow, and they agree with that so much more than you talking 100 miles an hour. Because if you're talking really fast, they just look at you as a salesperson. And now they don't want to talk to you at all. Low and slow, get down with one person, get in the business. Who do you know on referrals? Don't ask if they know anybody. So who do you know? And kind of go from there. Because I was really bad at first. I wouldn't ask that. I would ask, who do you think needs to hear about this? And they didn't like that. I would never get an answer.
Dude, awesome.
Thanks, man.
Anybody
Great
else?
vibes, man. I just want to say thanks for your time. I really enjoy your authenticity. I think you're spot on with that. People enjoy authenticity, not salespeople. You crushed that.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate it.
Hey, Tyler, Van Davenport here. Great job and great start, man. Real proud of you. I got a question for you. You know, it's you see a lot of people come into our business and they'll have a really great first month, and then sometimes you see it tail off after that. And we all know you're typically not getting worse technically, although some of us abandon the sales talk because it works so well, we kind of start doing it. What are some things that you're doing on, purposefully doing, to keep your basics down pat with your technical, with your sales talk, but also keeping your mind right, keeping your head right, because it's when the job's not new and shiny like toys on Christmas morning anymore, it's easy to start taking them for granted a little bit, like this job. So what are you doing on those two fronts, both technical to keep yourself sharp and mentally and emotionally to keep yourself sharp?
I can definitely say my first 2 months probably been the best 2 months I've ever had. And then I strayed from the sales talk, strayed from the path, and read the sales talk daily. Try to reiterate on it of a morning, of an evening, because as you get into this job, you're gonna stray from it. You're gonna think you can do stuff a little bit better. When all honesty, we can't. I done better when I didn't know what I was supposed to say, trying to remember what I was supposed to say, and trying to do stuff word for word. And it showed that I done better. So I always try to fill my head full of positivity. Also, read Eagles, read positive stuff. Don't put yourself in a bad mood right off the rip. A big thing for me is everybody's biggest distraction, in my opinion, is probably going to be the phone. Do not disturb. I turn my phone to do not disturb. Everybody knows if it's an emergency, they can call me twice and it'll ring and it'll come through me. Leave it out of there. That makes sure you're giving 100% to all your clients. If you have Facebook and everything else you can't get off of, delete it. Just get rid of it. Don't look at it. You can download it back on the weekends, because the more time you sit in your vehicle playing on your phones, the less time you get out to protect people. So kind of getting rid of that positivity, reading the sales talk. You can get a devotional. I'm reading the Greatest Salesperson in the World. It helps build habits. I'm struggling day by day with that, but 30 days full, if you can read it 3 times a day, you're actually doing something for yourself, and you've just created your own self a habit to read. And that's about all I got on that.
Man, that's awesome. So are you reading The Greatest Salesman in the World the way it is prescribed? You're reading each scroll 3 times a day?
Yeah, I'm on scroll 1. I've been on scroll 1 for a while, because if I skip a day, I'm going to have to start over, and I keep having to start over.
Heck yeah, it's a good book.
Good for you, man.
That scroll was long, for sure.
Isn't it wild how after about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks with a scroll, you can actually, the next sentence before you even get to it. It's wild.
So I've been kind of at the part where I read it, and the next time I read it, I'm like, I didn't read that. Wait a minute. Where did this come from? And so every time I read it, I get something new out of it.
Yeah.
Which don't make any sense to me.
Yeah, you can drop the mic and exit stage left on The Greatest Salesman in the World right there. If anybody heard one thing today, man, good gosh, get that and read it.
Yes.
Daily. Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you, Tyler.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tyler, this is Zach. I just want to jump in real quick and just say I don't have a question, but man, I can tell you're going to be here for a while. One, your attitude. That is something that we all desire, just the abundance and, not being scared to cold call. That's just part of the business. When the pipeline runs dry, get back out there and shake some more hands. It's the law of large numbers. But two, you just seem very, very coachable. So you're surrounded by quality folks that I know personally. And, man, you're just a good testament to the company. So kudos to you, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. Putting yourself around the right people. Being around the right people definitely goes a long way. Be coachable. You said it right there. When I'm doing something wrong, when people ride with me, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm doing the worst job ever because you don't want to talk down on yourself. But I always ask, hey, what did you see? Was there anything wrong? Was there anything good? And to try to sharpen the saw and make my craft better, it goes a long way.
For sure.
All righty. Anybody got anything else for Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler, it's Greg. Hey, if you don't mind, would you shoot me your number? I sent you a message on the chat, but I wanted to catch up with you after the call.
Yes, sir. I think I screenshotted it. Let me make sure here. Yeah, I got you. The 803-549.
Yeah,
Yep. I got you. I screenshotted it.
appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Tyler, if you don't mind, what was that phone number again? If you don't mind somebody reaching out to you.
Phone number is 912-253-9147.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep, y'all feel free to call me anytime. I'm always willing to be a helping hand. I tell everybody I work with already, if you're having a bad day, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you reach out and just want somebody to talk to. You got to have a support person. We can fume out together with each other, lean on each other's shoulders, and get out back there. I always make sure to end a note with telling everybody that's, get back out there. If you got 20 no's, it takes 20 no's to get 21. One's a yes, and we just keep on going with it.
That was great stuff, Tyler. Look forward to hearing from you, buddy. Thanks, man.
Thank y'all.
Very much so, Tyler. Again, I really do appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate y'all letting me be on and being able to talk to y'all. Hopefully I didn't bore y'all to death. We will go from there.
That was awesome. Thanks, Tyler.
You have a wonderful day, Tyler.
Y'all too.
All right, guys. As Tyler's former agency owner Brian Ross would say, let's swerve and serve, make a dash for the cash. Can't be nervous when your mind's on service. Let's go help somebody else out today, guys. We've been so very blessed. Let's go be a blessing for others. Have a great day, guys.